And do you think this is a good way to increase density in historical, single-family home neighborhoods, such as Lion Village, Country Club Hills, and etc.?
So accessible dwelling units, accessory dwelling units, I think is what the question was referring to, is the idea that you might have a granny flat in your basement, something along that lines, an in-law suite, whatever family caregiver suite, whatever the various terminologies is. It's the idea of how many people can comfortably live in a single family home factor. I support looking into this, but I will tell you this, that the main thing in order to initiate a process this way, in order to make sure that fear and misinformation don't drive the public process, is you have to have full transparency, you have to be honest with people, you have to have public processes where people have faith in the public processes. And this is why leadership that is truly committed to transparency, that leads by example and makes sure that as we begin a discussion of this, and we do it in the context of implementation of our affordable housing master plan, of some of the other ideas. I also agree with Ms. Garvey that we could look at redefining the definition of a family and allowing more than 4 unrelated individuals to live within the same home. These are things that we should look at, and making sure that we preserve the character of our single-family neighborhoods. And that's a loaded term, obviously. My definition of what character of a single-family neighborhood is might be different than my next-door neighbors. Certainly I hear from people who have a reaction towards a construction of a McMansion, and they feel that's not within the character. But the point is we can have a discussion as a community when we have an honest, open, transparent discussion.
So accessory dwelling units can help. We have them. The rules are so restricted that they've only gotten like 10 and 10 years. I think we could probably loosen that up a little bit. I think home sharing is something else you should look at, which is where a single-family home, as I was explaining before, you could actually have other families living there. Often single-family homes can even be built to be sort of like duplexes. The important part is, yes, we have to have that community discussion, and I think we need to make it home sharing. So somebody can't do a house and then get a lot of people living in it and leave themselves. The owner, I think, has to stay there, which is why I call it home sharing. The other thing is I think we can do a lot more to help people age in place. Right now, if you have a home that's called non-conforming, doesn't fit on the lot exactly why it wouldn't qualify now, you can't do changes on it, like add a bathroom on the ground floor. And that's something that people often need to do to stay in their own homes. And I think we can do more about that. We really need to be much more flexible for folks. I agree that the League Highway Group indeed is being looking at doing more affordable housing along there. I think that's great. We can have that discussion. They did wonderful work, and I'm not sure why we call it dying on the vine. In our last budget, we gave that group $50,000 to start a nonprofit so that they can continue to keep that effort moving. They have to get set up before they get the money. We're going to hold them accountable. They have to be set up. But we set aside that money in the budget for them. So once they're organized, they can use that to continue the effort that they're making. We also told the staff to move up the planning effort to January of 2017. And originally, it actually was going to be not until 2018, I think, and the staff said maybe they could manage June, and we backed it up to January. So that effort is clearly moving forward, and it's a great effort.